Snohomish Viking footballs, sponsored by Hooters and Alfie's Pizza and Pasta. Jeff Wood kicking off for the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts just a little bit light tonight on the road, 20 miles north of Seattle. I see a flag down, but number 2, Rico Brown, is on the loose. And another bad tackle, and another flag. Wayne Harris rides him down on the 10.
And it's coming back. We got more handkerchiefs all over this field than we do players. And it looked like about 5 consecutive clips as he rolled down the sidelines. But unfortunately, they'll just have to come back, and it looks like they'll probably start off around the 10-yard line.
Okay, number 5, Calvin Clements Jr. is back to field the re-kick along with Rico Brown, who returned the last one. They ruled offsetting penalties, and it looks like the Thunderbolts are going to give them a kickoff out of bounds, and maybe they'll take it on the 35. Snohomish Vikings accept the kickoff out of bounds on the 35-yard line. And we're getting set to go. Number 14, Tony Holliday, the quarterback, and the Vikings start off with the football. And it looks like Tyrone Sellers gets loose in the backfield and stops that play.
They had him for a 3-yard loss, and the running back just refused to go down, and he gained an extra 2 yards just on his own accord, just by pure strength and agility.
Justin Smith, number 21, is the running back, and he played at Sacramento State. Thunderbolts starting out with, I saw Brett Wells, number 31, in there, linebacker Tyrone Sellers, and number 39, Anthony Davis. And Velarde, number 5's deep at the safety spot, along with number 10, who is Dante Lewis, who you may have seen wearing number 13 previously, is number 10 tonight in the secondary. And Ali Rowley, number 22, and Wayne Harris, the 2 corners. And Thunderbolts defending on 2nd and 9. And he's in the backfield. Clayson puts all the pressure in the world on Tony Holliday. He can't even hand it off.
And on that exchange, they're lucky to have still contain the ball, because the quarterback actually still was holding the ball when he was being wrapped, handed off to the running back. But there were so many Thunderbolts back there, no one was going to come out of that backfield without being tackled.
The running back on that play was number 1, Andre Edwards, who normally wears, I guess, jersey number 31, but tonight he's number 1, is a special deal for the Thunderbolts. And it brings up 3rd down and about 13. Thunderbolt defense has gained 4 yards in 2 plays, and it's long yardage. Vikings looking to throw. Kind of a wobbly pass out to number 2, Rico Brown. Can't hang on, and I don't think he would have got the first down.
No, he wouldn't have the first down. That play wouldn't even been completed. If it got to the receiver, he was going to go down immediately. The quarterback was totally rushed. The receiver wasn't even in position for the catch.
So the Thunderbolt defense gains 4 yards, and it's now 4th and 14. And the Snohomish Vikings counting bodies, trying to get 11 in there, and I suggest the Thunderbolts do the same. It looks like they've got the 11 in there pretty easy this time.
Well, actually, if you can believe this, we actually worked on special teams this week more so than we have ever done this whole year.
By the way, Greg Robinson.
Who's that Jackie Robinson?
Okay, you caught me in a weak moment. Greg Miller is the color man tonight. Scott Woodward is the cameraman tonight, so you can send him all your fan mail about the photography. And the Thunderbolts providing the football plays tonight. Number 31, Brett Wells, with the big rush. And he forces about a 20-yard punt, which the Thunderbolts down at about midfield.
And that was actually, should have been a block. He actually backed off on that. I think he was really worried more so about running into the kicker. And if he had continued his pace, he would have had a block, because I don't know how that ball got out of there as it was.
Well, if it was me, I would have had both my hands right around my crotch, I think. If getting about that close to the kicker in that football, I know I'd be worried about. Say number 97, Malcolm Stewart, apparently the Washington State Cougar. I believe that was the guy that got hurt in the first Thunderbolts game for Snohomish on the last play. He hurt his neck, and they thought it might be a really serious injury. They took him to the hospital. The paramedics came down. I understood that he might have a chance to get on the Seahawks team, and it's good to see him out there.
Yeah, and I talked to a couple of their announcers here, and they said, apparently it wasn't that serious because 2 weeks after the incident, he was playing football again.
Number 3, Kenyatta Morgan, was the intended receiver. Did I miss something?
I think he just went brain dead on me.
Well, Scott started talking to me, and I don't know. This job's too much sometimes. I don't know my geography. I don't know my names. Draw play up the middle. Glenn Vereen, that's one easy one to call, and he's got a first down. He's got about 15 yards. And Thunderbolts making it look easy here with, 11 minutes, 53 seconds in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think I was just caught by your expression. You were having looking at me to talk, and you were kind of listening to the microphone, so I just thought it was really funny. You just kept looking at me.
Glenn Vereen runs into Jason Matthews, number 58. Can't get the wheels moving. It looks like Thunderbolts pound out maybe a yard or two. But hey, they're down the field. They got great field position on the punt. And now they only need 38 yards to get in the end zone.
And the one issue is they want to attack in the middle, and that's where they're going right now. They believe that's the place they really want to put the running game, is somewhere in between the tackles.
Keep an eye out for number 79, Jason Lang for the Thunderbolts, a big transfer for Portland State, and he makes a big play. But Vereen gets a huge hole and a huge wallop from number 39, Mickey Velasco, and sure enough, Jason Lang on cue made a nice block on that number 97, Malcolm Stewart, the defensive end we were discussing, ran him right out of the play.
And that's what they said. They felt the Vikings were strong on the outside, so they figured they would work on inside the tackles. That play was just off the guard on the left side, and big hole. I mean, no one touched him until he got down to the tackle area.
Yeah, and then he really got touched. He did the cartwheel. There goes Vereen again. He's got a lot of room. He's got some wheels, and he's going to score. He reaches the ball across, hands it to the referee, and just like that, the Thunderbolts, undermanned but not under talent, and doing the, the marimba? No, it's the salt. Number 75, John Miller is snapping the ball to number 5, Van Velarde, and Jeff Wood connects. And it almost clears the track, as he's so famous for in Thunderbolt lore.
As we were saying before we were rudely cut off, the one thing that we've been really consistent with, and they want to keep the team together, is Jonathan Miller snapping, Van holding, and Jeff Wood kicking. And they've been so solid the last 5 weeks, it's almost been automatic.
Well, they had a little trouble last week with the kicking. They had one blocked, and I think Stanwood might have missed one, but Jeff Wood missed his first extra point last week. I don't know the exact statistics, but the Thunderbolts kicking game has improved this year.
Well, if you talk to Jeff, and I tend to believe him. He thought it was good, but a lot of times when you get the ball near the upright, you just don't know what the ref's going to give you.
Jeff Wood, number 9, gets set to kick off. Rico Brown, number 2, back, along with Calvin Clements Jr., number 5. Thunderbolts are on sides. Ball again catches a breeze, and it's floating out of bounds.
Not yet.
And there goes a linen. So it looks like the Thunderbolts again will happy to set up on the 35, or the Vikings will be happy to set up on the 35. Vikings take the ball on their 35-yard line after the second kickoff out of bounds. Number 14, Tony Holliday, the starting quarterback. And they line up in the I formation. It looked like somebody moved because the entire defense decided to come across. And it's going to be some sort of 5-yarder. Illegal procedure or something, one of them 5-yard penalties up against illegal motion. I'm sorry, I don't know my football. Vikings pitch to the left. Matt Neal doesn't contain him, but the rest of the defense does, and it's going to be a short gain, and an injured Viking, it looks like, number 86, gets back up. Paul Hassett, tied in. And number 21, Justin Smith, on the sweep.
And that was about a 40-yard run. Unfortunately, it was 40 yards to the side.
And Hassett checks out. Looks like a hamstring or a groin or something. And number 85, Jimmy McCollum, checks in as a third wide receiver. Lewis and Velarde, the safeties. Rowley and Harris are the corners. Backers are Anthony Davis, Tyrone Sellers, and Brett Wells. Is he a backer or a safety?
For Brett Wells is actually still a linebacker where he's playing. They're just playing a different formation. They're not stacking the linebackers up. They just have them slotted.
And big time pressure, Leland Johnson, number 98, with the push up the middle, forces another errant throw. I guess that might have been in the direction of number 9, Neil O'Neill, but the ball wasn't even close to the receiver.
And we're watching the Thunderbolts do what they do best. The play before, they didn't really make a tackle, but their pursuit was so strong that the only advantage that he had was about a yard gain, and he did everything by sideways. Here, quarterback's not getting any time to throw, and he's rushing the pass. The receivers aren't even seeing the ball. It's coming way too soon.
Vikings now face 3rd down and 12. Kind of a throwing situation. Holiday in trouble. Clayson's got him by the shoulder pads, and he's going down. Neil Clayson, the leading tackler to this point on the Thunderbolts, number 50, who plays inside, outside, and linebacker, I believe.
And we were having a discussion about what they wanted to do up here against Snohomish, and the first thing that came to my mind was you want to go in the first quarter and make no doubt in their mind how good you really are, and how that they're actually the upper echelon team in this league. And they're proving that right now so far in the first quarter.
Once again, the Thunderbolt defense, I believe, leading the Snohomish offense in total yards, pushes them back 8 more for a 12 yards total defensive yardage stat. And it's 4th and 18. Another big rush, and they got it this time. Danny Jefferson, number 82, got a hand on it, and number 8, Wayne Harris, picks it up on the hop before it rolls all the way down the field. What a heads-up play by Harris.
There was about 4 Thunderbolts looking at that ball, and they were waiting for the right one to pick it up. No one was going to take a chance at it, and it was kind of an unlucky block because he kind of got an overspin.
Mike Haskamp back with the offense. Harris recovers the block punt inside Snohomish Viking territory at the 42. Haskamp making some calls at the line, hands off quick to Vereen. But this time there was about 4 blue guys there, and it's going to be about 2nd and 3.
Well, they're making Snohomish pack it in towards the middle, and they should continue to do this philosophy, and then run an outside pass, a screen, or one out here in the flat. But they need to keep assaulting the way they are, because they're doing such a wonderful job that you can see everybody moving towards the middle, and a big play will come out of this.
Henry Newsom, the split to the far side. Rich Martin, the slot on the far side. Jolson now on the far side in motion, and Danny Jefferson, number 82, to the near side. It's another run play in the middle to Glenn Vereen, number 1, and Malcolm Stewart, the outstanding defensive lineman for the Snohomish County Vikings, makes the play for basically no gain.
And they're still, I don't think they should have to worry about this. They're doing what they want. They want to bring them all in. And I believe that anything on the tackle position right now is really vulnerable. I think that if they go to the tackle side, whether it's a run or a pass, they're going to get a big play.
Jefferson wide to the near side. Vereen in the backfield, and number 3, Kenyatta Morgan, goes in motion. Haskamp looking to run or pitch an option to Glenn Vereen. Vereen sidesteps a tackler and then steps across the first down marker for a gain of about 8. And it's going to be first down, Oregon Thunderbolts on the 30-yard line.
And there we are. We talked about it, that they have been pushing the Vikings to the inside, and what did they do? They go outside on an option play, and there's no support out there. It's one-on-one, and that was an easy first down.
And Haskamp looking pretty comfortable out there running with the ball. Thunderbolts have only 2 quarterbacks now. Haskamp's a pretty tough guy, though, so they don't have to too much worry about his health. But he seems to be happy out there running on the option.
In the quarter. What's going on? Oh, timeout.
Thunderbolt offensive line jogs up to the line. That's a good sign. And number 14, Mike Haskamp, calling the play at the line. Number 3, Kenyatta Morgan in motion. Haskamp with a quick throw. Danny Jefferson, and it bounced off his thumb.
It looked like he just got his hand out of position. Whether it's on the inside or the outside, the throw was to the outside shoulder, and he was kind of leaning on the inside shoulder. He got his hand over there, but it looked like it was flipped the wrong way, and it just deflected off it.
Tough break for the Thunderbolts. Jefferson was wide open, had the first down and probably the end zone with his speed and his athletic ability. We saw him drag a guy into the end zone against the whatchamacallem Bengals, and dragged him into the end zone by his face mask, so Jefferson can drag the tacklers with him. Brad Jolson, number 6, checks in at slot, runs a interesting motion. The Thunderbolts get snuffed on that play.
It was supposed to be a quick snap, and basically the back picks the hole on the outside. What happened was everybody shifted over to that side. He decided to reverse his field, and when he did, one of our linemen was taking down one of the Vikings, and they all kind of collided together.
Well, I saw the result. I was curious about Brad Jolson running that motion route. As soon as he cleared the slot on the other side, he ran kind of back towards the bench, about 5 yards deep, and I thought, wow, this is some kind of throwback play, or who knows. Maybe we'll see something off of that later. Rich Martin, number 7, in motion. Haskamp looking to throw. Got Martin over the middle, where he loves to catch the ball, and he likes to take the shot, and he gets one from number 39, Mickey Velasco, who delivered the big blow on Vereen a little earlier.
And Richie has what I call sticky hands. He'll catch a ball with one finger if it's possible. He does a lot of drills during the week that just involves one hand. He has a lot of confidence, and once the ball's somewhere in his area, he'll hold on to it. And that was a good example. It was over the middle, and anything in the middle, you're obviously going to get hit. And he accepted the ball real well and took the hit and made a fine gain.
Rich Martin's built 5'9", 205, so he has kind of a stocky build for a receiver, and he can take the shots over the middle and still get up. Haskamp looking to run again, pitches to Vereen. Vereen's still fighting his way towards the end zone and doesn't quite get to the pylon, but he does get the first down.
And here's the philosophy that we talked about. They kept hitting the middle, kept hitting the middle, kept hitting the middle, and now Snohomish is really looking at the middle, and they're so conscious of the middle that they're leaving the wings outside, and they've done 2 option plays that have worked really nice.
First and goal, Thunderbolts after the Vereen drag, and it's only on the 2-yard line. What do you think, Greg? Are they going to run it or are they going to throw it?
That's up the middle.
It's running up the middle with Vereen, but there is a flag down, and the ref signals the touchdown, but I think it might come back.
Might have been offside. Might have lined up offside. Yeah, it was offside. They lined up offside.
Offsides against Snohomish, and the Vikings, or the Thunderbolts, decide to decline it and take the touchdown. Jeff Wood, number 9, with the outstanding extra point. Hits the guy in the track, and just like that, Thunderbolts lead 14-0. Yeah. Number 9, who is Jeff Wood, to kick off. Thunderbolts lead 14-0. Snohomish Vikings trying to get another return, but Wood hasn't kicked one in bounds yet that counted. Number 5, Calvin Clements Jr. got some speed trying to get outside, and guess who?
And well, it's number 10, and I see that number, and I'm thinking Stanwood, because that's the number he wore.
That was number 5, Velarde, with the big shot.
No, and number 10 too. He came over the top. Velarde went low, and the number 10 went high. And the Snohomish runner went outside. He thought he saw something outside. Apparently, he didn't see everybody all over the place.
Well, he's seeing nothing now. He's laying on his back. He's down, and we have a stoppage of play.
Helmet. Sure.
Thunderbolts have the superior sideline crew. The Snohomish Vikings with the sideline water bottle pitch, and it looked like Old Faithful. Thunderbolts take on defense. Clayson in the backfield with number 21, Justin Smith, and that Thunderbolt defense gaining yardage once again.
I was kind of wondering how we were going to play. Both Tim and I were trying to count how many players we had this weekend, and it looked like about 27, 28. And they've come here with a mission, and the defense has not given in to anything. That's a 5-yard loss, even though they took them back to almost the goal line. But right now, the defense is playing like they're right at home, and they've had tons of rest, and they're ready to play.
Well, I count about 20 guys on the sideline now in one state of dress or undress or another, and 11 players on the field, hopefully, and that makes 33. So it looks like the numbers have increased a little bit. They might have had a little powwow in the locker room while we were counting earlier, but I see enough players over there to be able to withstand the fourth quarter, hopefully. Vikings, second down and 15. Leland Johnson, big pressure, and great contain over there by number 90, Eric Johnson. And the Thunderbolt defense, that's about 8 more yards.
Right, but 90 contained them. And what we're seeing is a very nice defense. They're doing an excellent job. They're all working together. No one's taking the glory. Everybody wants to make a team effort out of this, and because of that, Snohomish is not going forward, they're going backwards.
And they haven't got a first down this game. Every time they punt, they're way back behind where they started from. And this may be no exception. They're third down and about maybe 25, maybe just under that. And Thunderbolts defending the pass. Holiday puts it up. Ali Roll gets a hand on it, along with Neil O'Neill, the intended receiver, and it looked like Rowley almost batted it to Van Velarde.
Yeah, and that's a team effort. One was deep, one was short. They pinched him. The only thing that's going to come out of this is either an interception or an incomplete pass.
Fortunately for the Vikings,
Is out of the game, and here comes the punt.
number 13, Mike Astley, is in there to punt. 5'10", 210. Sounds like ideal size for a young man. And it's, is that Wayne Harris back to receive. No, it's not Wayne Harris. Probably Kenyatta Morgan, then number 3. And another big rush. Jefferson almost gets a hand on it. Morgan with the fair catch and the acrobatic fair catch. Over there inside Thunderbolt territory. First quarter ends with the Thunderbolts leading 14-0, and they just got the ball back after the punt and the fair catch by Kenyatta Morgan. Haskamp setting up to go the other way.
And right now the Thunderbolts are hitting all 8 cylinders. Oh, and a nice pass. A lot of patience. Nice turn. And I think that's going to count as 7.
What a nice run by Morgan and a nice throw by Haskamp. And he was wide open across the middle there, and then no one was there to stop him after he caught the ball.
Well, the play was kind of...
down, counts for the good. It was a holding penalty against the defense, and once again the Thunderbolts elected to decline it and accept the touchdown. And Jeff Wood here to kick, and it's blocked. Number 92, Marty Northcroft, unblocked, got through there and got a big hand on, and Wood's point doesn't count.
Well, I don't know what happened. It looked like a total collapse on the line. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but everything just kind of fell apart. But I want to kind of go back on that other, the play before.
The touchdown?
On the touchdown, because Mike Haskamp, he was going to release the ball, and he held back at the last second because he saw what Kenyatta was going to do. And as soon as he saw that, he did a float pass to him, a real nice touch pass. And if it wasn't for that, he would have released it. It might have got knocked down. But he held on to it and waited for the receiver to open up.
Well, and Haskamp, well-versed in the ways of the run and shoot. I guess from what I know about the run and shoot, you have to kind of think on the run, and your receivers and your quarterback have to have some sort of a communication going, and they don't always necessarily know where the other's going to be. Well, the quarterback's not always sure where the receivers are going to be because they're reading the defensive backfield.
And that's really the case, and the Thunderbolts do kind of that type. They're not a full run and shoot team, but they do like to let their quarterback roll out and kind of work on the play.
Jeff Wood's kickoff, I guess it caught the wind, and it did. There is a wind. Drops beyond the end of the end zone on the tartan, and so that'll be a touchback.
Yeah.
Well, this is the worst field position yet for the Snohomish Vikings. They have been getting the ball on the 35, and they're kind of used to that. Now they're backed up on the 20-yard line after the big touchback kick, and hopefully they don't lose 20 yards or it's going to be a safety. Holiday looking to throw, got blindsided, threw it up in the air, and the only guy there was number 10, Dante Lewis, for the Thunderbolts.
And here we go again. There's just no time for Holiday to even throw the ball. He's as soon as he gets his foot down to set, he's got Thunderbolts all over him.
Well, I thought he was lucky to get that one off because it looked like, well, I don't know who that was. That was Leland Johnson or someone was back there, and he didn't see him. He was behind him, and he was going to crush him if he didn't get rid of that football.
Yeah, and we've seen this all season, and this is what the Thunderbolts do real well. They run their slots real well. If they don't over pursue, they make the plays work. Sometimes they get a little too churned up and they kind of overrun the plays. But today, so far, they've been really self-contained and doing an outstanding job on the line.
Matt Neal had the contain on that last play. This time, the quarterback doesn't have time to set up, and so he tries to run, and then he gets tackled in there right away.
Well, there was a penalty on us, and I'm not sure exactly what that call was. It was kind of a funny the way the ref was showing it was almost like an illegal pass the way he was waving his arm, but I know that can't be the case.
Must have been offsides because they just penalized the Thunderbolts 5 yards, and that would be the biggest gain for the Snohomish Vikings this game, if I'm not mistaken. They actually have a second and less than 10.
That's right. This is their first positive yards of the game so far.
So Holiday relaxed a bit on 2nd and 5. Pitches to the right. And there's a hole there. Not for long. But with some missed tackles, number 1, Andre Edwards, picks up the first down for the Snohomish Vikings. And the crowd loves to see that.
And that was just all positive yards. The Thunderbolts didn't cover well on their end. It looked like they kind of just hit a zone there and kind of just rushed, and they left a big pocket there. Someone left an area open, and that's where he hit. That gave him a nice about a 12-yard pickup.
Well, I think the defense is still in the negatives for total yards allowed. And it's 1st and 10. And it's a pitch to the outside and a big hit by number 35. That's Calvin Armstead. And it looked like someone might have got him low, too.
Well, he actually got tangled up with one of his own men. It looked like the lead block got knocked down, and he kind of got tangled up with him. And then the Thunderbolts just came over. He was standing there like he was stuck in the mud, and they just kind of finished him off while he was standing there.
But he managed to pick up about 2 yards. I believe that was number 21, Justin Smith. And so the Vikings looking at 2nd and about 8. And there's that number 48 in there. He's 5'6", 220-pound fullback, the shortest fullback I've seen. Swing pass out to number 21, Justin Smith, and there's the entire Thunderbolt defense piling on top of Smith.
And there was outstanding penetration. First of all, we had a man on the quarterback. The ball went out to the swing out man. As soon as it went out, was swung out, we had 3 Thunderbolts in pursuit. He got caught up in the traffic, and an additional 4 Thunderbolts came pursuing. He tried to get away, but there's no way he was going to get away from that attack.
And 4 more yards for the Thunderbolt defense. And the Vikings once again looking at 3rd down and more than 10 and about 12. And Thunderbolts can hold here on defense against the pass, most likely the pass. Then they'll get the ball back and add on to that 20-0 lead. Holiday puts it up wide open. It's number 86. Paul Hassett, the tight end. He refuses to go down. And we'll see he's back in the game and healthy.
There was it wasn't really a breakdown. They found a seam. They saw a little gap between the deep backs and our linebackers. Our cornerbacks are on the outside, so they saw we were soft in the middle, just beyond the linebackers. That was a touch pass. It was an excellent pass because the receiver, he had to wait for the ball because it was so soft.
Well, and it was amazing that he had that much time. And that big gain might wipe out all their defensive yardage. Pitch outside to number 1. Tackled by Clayson 50. Number 1, Andre Edwards again. And they do pick up some yardage in the middle.
Right now, the Thunderbolts are just, they're not playing at the same level they were in the first quarter. There's no doubt. That doesn't mean they're not playing hard, but in the first quarter they came out here to make a real strong commitment and to really tell Snohomish that they were going to take control of this game. But right now they seem to kind of be not so much on their heels, but they're not quite as jazzed up to get in there.
And it looks like maybe some mistakes being made on the tackling and the coverage. Because, I don't know, it just seems like they wouldn't be moving the ball quite this easily if on a well-tuned defense. Holiday with this sneaky little handoff. It looked like he was going to keep the ball and roll out, but he did hand it off. And Justin Smith paid the price.
And that was a quick hit. That's what we're talking about. Thunderbolts play slots real well. They play their zones real well. And all he did was that his assignment was hit the first man you think has the ball. He did, and the quarterback rewarded him by handing the ball off to that man, and he went down real quick.
Number 90, Eric Johnson in at defensive end to the near side. Number 50, Neil Clayson is the near tackle. The far tackle is Leland Johnson. And number 92, Matt Neal, back in at that far defensive end for the front four for the Thunderbolts. Shotgun, Holiday. Got pressure from Neal. Throws it high, but it's not going to get down before coverage gets there. Ali Rowley and number 5, Van Velarde, attack Rico Brown in the corner of the, well, actually they attacked the ball, right?
Yeah, they attacked the ball. They didn't really, he went for the ball all the way, and in fact, I think he had his hands on the ball, and because of the collision, it was knocked loose. And it looked like he was out, totally out of play.
Big play for the defense, and it didn't look like Holiday had time to fire that ball. He's lining up in a deep shotgun, though, but he was under big pressure when he fired that up, and he threw it so high, it gave Velarde and Rowley a chance to close because he was open down there. Oh, man, and Velarde has the ball drop right in front of him.
No, it didn't drop in front of him. He saw a touchdown. He saw a touchdown all the way. He was coming up. The ball went right over the middle, and he had the slot played beautifully. And he was thinking touchdown before he even had a hold of the ball.
Well, Greg, wasn't that fourth down? Because now the offense is climbing on the field.
That's right. And we've seen this with most of the teams. Even though we know they got a good kicker, this is into the wind here. So we always know that wind plays havoc with kickers. So I think they thought it was more favorable, especially with their line not really holding our defensive line, that they could even get a kickoff for that fact. So they went pass.
So Velarde would have caught that ball. We might have lost yards, so that's probably good. And the Thunderbolt offense takes over. Haskamp got time, swings it out to Vereen. Vereen catches it and then drops it. Would have had 5 yards.
Well, that was kind of an interesting play. That was a swing out. I'm not exactly sure how that one was working, but the defensive man was right there. But excellent pass. That would have been a complete pass. He just quite couldn't hold on to it. And then he kind of ended up over in the kicker's net.
Well, I'm thinking maybe the reason the Vikings decided, we got a penalty here. Big mark-off. Big 15-yard mark-off. Must have been 12 guys. That's what the 2 hands on the head means, right?
That's right, illegal participation.
Well, at least I know something. Anyway, I was saying,
Very low.
I think maybe the Vikings went for it on 4th down because they still think that they're in this game.
Oh, and really, if you in a football program, you always think you're in the game until the last bell. And that ball was down. And they're calling it live, but he's down.
He rolled on the ground, reached the ball out, and it looks like the referee might call it where he went down. The umpires lined up over there on the 47 where it looked to me like his forward progress ended, and it looks like it's Thunderbolt ball.
No. Hold on, let's find out what the call is.
Haskamp and the offense stay on the field, and I think that was correctly ruled, all bias aside, of course.
It's true, and I think they tried to buy a play on that one because he was laying on the ground, definitely, and the ref was even marking the spot, but the Vikings didn't want to think that, and they just kept batting the ball around to make it look like a live ball.
Well, that was number 23, Rufus Dean, who has checked in at tailback and made that nice run and was trying to reach the ball out for an extra yard. And he did gain about 6 or 7. Vereen swings to the near side. Haskamp's got some pressure. Ball comes loose. And it looks like the offense is going to give up some points. And it's been a long time since the Thunderbolts gave up any points, and it's been an even longer time since the Thunderbolts have given up any defensive points.
Sometimes you get too accustomed to having, an hour and a half in the backfield to throw a ball. And sometimes that goes against you, and in this case it did, because Mike had a lot of time, and he checked off 3 receivers, and he was looking long. Unfortunately, we could see from up here that he was going to get sacked. Mike didn't see him from the blind side, and it looked like the guy just stole the ball right out of his hands.
Yeah, I didn't see the ball on the ground either. And it's a touchdown for the Vikings. The Thunderbolts lead 20-6 now, and it looks like they're going to attempt an extra 1 point here. Number 4, Lyle Ronnie. And now it's timeout again for the Vikings of Snohomish. For Lyle running into attempt, and the rush is provided by number 92, Matt Neal. Kick goes through in spite of the rush, and the Snohomish Vikings have struck 20 by Snohomish County Vikings 7 and the Thunderbolts 20.
About another team scoring. So this is kind of, if you want to say, out of character for the previous last 4 games for the Thunderbolts to give up any points. But, you know, once in a while that does happen. They did a good rush. And all we can say is that maybe we held onto the ball a little too long and felt a little too comfortable back there.
Well, and the Vikings, if they didn't think they were in it before, certainly do now. Down only 13 points and scoring there on the defense with a touchdown. And now they're going to try and, I'd say they're pretty fired up right now.
Well, you know, you just scored 7 points on the number four team in the country. Yeah, I guess they get a little excited about that.
Henry Newsom picks up the kickoff. It kind of stopped and dropped, and he makes some positive yards there, probably about 14 yards for Newsom, and he handled that ball well. It looked like it was kind of bouncing around funny.
He was just looking for a seam that he could find his way through. He saw a lot of bodies in front of him. He didn't really have a direct path. He just kind of weeded through, hoping that they would kind of fall off him or get knocked off him by some of his helpers out there, but they eventually got a hold of him and pulled him down.
And Newsom lines up to the near side at the near wide position. And number 3, Kenyatta Morgan, moves in motion. Haskamp got some pressure, picked up by Vereen. Haskamp fires, but looked like Jenny Jefferson was on a different page, and the ball hits the ground.
Right now, Mike's finding a few more people in the backfield than he's used to in the last few games at a sooner time. That doesn't mean that he's never gotten touched in the backfield, but right now he's finding it a little bit sooner where he can't really find his receivers at the time he wants to.
Yeah, and that ball fell in Jefferson's vicinity, but didn't look like a good quarterback-receiver connection. Haskamp surveying the defense, and he's going to run the quick play up the middle to Vereen, who's going to get the close of first down yardage with some nice blocking up there by number 63, Bubba.
And that's a straight play for them. That was just between the guard and the tackle, a straight-up play. And it's going to be about a yard short for the first down. So they have third and short. And it looks like about a yard and a half. But they should just hit that same play. I think sometimes they get a little too casual about their passing and they forget about the run game.
Number 79, Jason Lang, the big transfer from Portland State, also with some push over on that right side. And the Thunderbolts 3rd and 2 after the 8-yard run by Vereen, and flags go down. Thunderbolts penalized 5 yards for illegal procedure. What was the illegal procedure? Do we have motion or something?
And when set is called, someone moves. It doesn't matter who, but they move after the set is called on the line, and so.
Rich Martin moves this time in motion, only it's legal, and Vereen looking for that, once again, that 10-yard pylon, and he looked like he dove for it, but I don't know, he either dove for that or the Thunderbolt bench.
Well, he hit the flag. He dove and he just dove at the flag, and they give him the first down.
That was excellent effort by Vereen. And the Thunderbolts come away with a first down on, was that 3rd and long? Or was it 2nd and long with the penalty?
It was 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6.
So that would have been about a 7 or 8 yard gain for Vereen. And Thunderbolts trying to win back some momentum in this game after giving up the big fumbled touchdown for the Viking of Snohomish defense. Henry Newsom to the near side, Rich Martin to the near side, Kenyatta Morgan in the far slot, and Danny Jefferson out wide. Vereen's open again, and he's going to have 5 yards before anybody gets near him.
That was just a pure swing out play, and we had a back block on it, which was done real well. But there was a deeper man that just came up and pinched him right out of bounds on the sidelines.
Well, Vereen does get 5, and I'm surprised that with a weapon like Vereen, that the defense isn't keying on him. I mean, they just let him walk right out of the backfield into the flat, and no one was there. They just welcomed him to catch the ball.
Well, they're kind of freezing, too, because they've been handing off to him, and he's been getting runs between the tackles, and so, they're not quick to jump out on the outside and think that there's going to actually be something more up the middle, and because we've been pretty consistent in the middle.
Well, I for one personally think they ought to go out there and cover him, and that way when they hand it to him up the middle again, we can get a nice 40-yard touchdown run for Vereen.
Well, I'm sure that's what they're trying to do. They're just trying to get the defense off balance, and they're working very effectively at that fact, because Vereen has gone up the middle and outside, and so that kind of gets the linebackers not really sure where to set up.
Haskamp sets up, 2nd down and 6, looking to throw. Got a man down there, Kenyatta Morgan, who's underneath the ball. He jumps for it. He might have got a finger on it, but the ball was high and the coverage was pretty good.
Coverage was excellent. The only way that pass would have been completed is a comeback. Deep was covered. They already had it pinched. And what can I say? That was an excellent defensive play. They covered it well. They look like they're trying to take our long game away from us. So what we should start looking for is some out on the flats and some soft in the middle.
Yeah, I would be looking for number 7, Richie Martin here. It's 3rd down and 7, and I think he would mind going across the middle there and catching something just long enough for the first. Martin goes in motion to the far side. Big pressure from the defensive end. Haskamp throws backwards, kind of lateral style to Vereen, and that didn't go anywhere.
Mike was wrapped up immediately, and it was amazing that he even got the pitch off. But Glenn Vereen was wrapped pretty close to immediately too, so that play really didn't go really anywhere.
Loss of 3, and it looks like they're trying to figure out who the 11 punt guys are. Jeff Wood, number 9, back to punt. Velarde directing traffic, number 5, says we need a couple more guys up front here.
All timeout.
Rico Brown, number 2, is the deep Viking, and boy, is he deep. And he must have seen Jeff Wood punting earlier in the game warm-up. And I can't believe they're going to get this off inside 40, how many seconds do we get in this league?
You're supposed to get 25 seconds.
That was a long 25 seconds, and now the whistle blows.
It's from the spot. That's a coaching. They should help. They can afford it.
Only 3 minutes left, unless they're trying to run the clock
in
out.
4 weeks, I don't think they've used a timeout, maybe 2.
Thunderbolts failed to call timeout. 3 minutes, 26 seconds left in the half, and they're trying to get that punt away still, but now they're looking at 4th down and 15. And number 2, Rico Brown, moves up 5 yards to about the 18. John Miller with the snap, fakes it to Velarde. Velarde's going to throw it. Henry's going to catch it. Henry Newsom, and he's got the first, and the big fake play. Wow, I never would have expected that after they got the 5-yard delay of game penalty. That really threw me off.
You know, and they work on this play all the time. This is one of their special team things. You never want to just always think punt. If you see opportunities, you want to see what the possibilities are. And they just found out that Van is a good quarterback.
Well, and Henry's a great receiver, and I can't say quite much for the defense, though.
I loved it.
I love you, man. First down, Thunderbolts after the big fake punt. Velarde throws to Henry Newsom. Henry gets the first down plus a nickel or two, and Haskamp throwing deep, and now he's got the end zone. Touchdown. Is that Danny Jefferson? Number 82. Yeah. And he's going to do the dance for us. Wow, what a throw, what a catch.
And that's pure timing. That's working with each other over the period of weeks. Jefferson was in a flow. I mean, it was just perfect stride, perfect throw.
And what Jeff Wood, number 9, in here to kick. I thought they might be going for 2, but they don't. Or maybe they are. It looked like a bumbled play, but Velarde's going to make another play.
He's in.
Dives across. Will and Desire from number 5. I thought they would go for 2 with the Haskamp, though. I thought they'd do it the easy way.
You know, a strange thing happened on the way. We gotta wait till it's on.
It's on.
Oh, well, what they have found out that
we can talk now, but talk really, really, really fast.
Really, really. Oh, it's a whistle.
Maybe they didn't get the whistle before they kicked off, I guess. They blew the play dead. It didn't even happen. Thunderbolts assessed 5 yards. I think they kicked the ball too early before they got the signal, and they blew the play dead. Now number 2, Rico Brown, looking one way, going back the other way. Thunderbolt pursuit is there, but not until he crosses over the 40-yard line.
Again, we tend to kind of curl in on the coverage on the ends, and it leaves that outside open.
Anyway, I just had to mention what a huge play that fake punt was. I mean, we were giving the ball away, and then we get the fake punt, and then we get the touchdown, and we seem to have stolen the momentum back from the Vikings.
And that's exactly what you want to do. You want to pounce on a situation when you have the opportunity. But right now, the line doesn't seem to be getting the penetration. And whether there's holding or what, I don't know. But they're not throwing any flags on it, but we're not getting to the quarterback as soon as we were earlier in the game.
Jimmy McCollum, wide receiver, number 85, collects that ball from Holiday. Tackled immediately by number 31, Brett Wells, but it's going to be another 8-yard gain for the Snohomish Vikings. And we have reached the 2-minute warning in the first half, and we will be right back, unless Greg has something to say, but you got to talk really fast. Oh, go ahead. You got your solo here. He gave us some free tape.
What was I talking about?
You were talking, I think, about the last touchdown.
Well,
either that or no, we were talking about the extra point where Velarde ran it in.
Oh yeah, and we have worked on it was kind of a fluke instance how this all kind of came about. Van, it wasn't that he mishandled the ball. He just he dropped the ball, and they said, well, he should have fired off that. And from that day forward, as soon as he gets the ball, if he doesn't feel that the kicker can kick the ball, he'll fire out of the hole. Well, on that instance, I don't think it was. I think that was strictly Van doing it, all by himself.
Well, it looked to me like he set the ball on the turf sideways, and he had to get out of it. Thunderbolt defense, Neil Clayson, number 50, with the 6-yard sack, and the defense again trying to pile up some of those negative yards against the Vikings. 3rd down, 3rd and 11. Holiday lines up 10 yards deep in the shotgun, gives him a little time. But here comes Matt Neal, number 92, and Josh Enyart, number 88, the tight end, who we don't use at tight end because we don't have a tight end, and he forced him out of bounds for a minimal gain. But he But he has retained his speed and his athletic ability. We were just popping off about the glories of number 5, Van Velarde. What an asset he has been to this team.
And you can't ask more out of a man than Van gives. It's 100% of the time. Actually, I think it's 200% of the time. But they're going for a fake.
And they complete the bat, but it looks like he's close to the first down. Yeah, you might have got it. I thought the defense reacted well to that, but he still completed it.
And that's where the upmen are supposed to recognize immediately something's awry, and they're supposed to be covering the flat areas. And that was kind of like a dead quail up there, and but still found the receiver.
It was a nice play by the receiver. I didn't catch his number for you, but it was a nice play. He brought it in, and he managed to advance it just enough to get that first down. He caught it. He had to get another yard or two to get the first. So the Vikings pull out some trick that they've never seen before. I guess fake punt. Where'd they get that idea from? Holiday going up top. And it's going to be Dante Lewis with the interception. And you can't blow the dead.
It's not dead.
And he blows it dead with he's not touched, but we got some high school or college refs here that, oh, well, it's just another one of those referee, call it as you call it in your local high school game or whatever game you ref.
Yeah, and it looks like the refs are kind of huddling and saying, I think you blew it here.
Well, that was nasty. They blew it dead, and number 10, Dante Lewis, dove for that ball, untouched, got up, and referee, who's probably used to calling different level of football game, blew him dead there, and I sure would like to see him take off with it. Haskamp swings it to Vereen. Vereen's got room. He's got blockers. Big Bubba's out there. There's David O'Neill. There's Henry Newsom with a block, and he's still going.
Glenn's got force field around him or something because everybody was grabbing, but it didn't look like they were doing anything by grabbing him, and he just kept going until he finally went out of bounds.
Well, I think that was an act of God after the referee bad call. I think we got to see our interception return, only it was number 1 instead of number 10.
Delay to play. Yeah, and we don't know why they call it down, but and you would wonder if these refs are reading the same rules books. But the rule is we play it like pro on that type of play. They can go down and get back up unless they're touched.
Danny Jefferson out wide to the far side and 3 receivers to the near side. Haskamp looking at the trips, and he's got number 3, Kenyatta Morgan, who's been relatively quiet. Morgan goes down in a heap with 2 guys and a couple flags, and it looks like there might be a face mask, might be some kind of a intentional roughness penalty.
When we watch these refs, I never know how they're going to call a roughing call because they don't throw a flag when a guy actually comes in after the whistle's blown, but they'll actually throw a flag when you have a couple guys take a guy down. But I think there was a face mask involved on that.
Well, I see 5 yards erased off of the Snohomish side of the field, and the Thunderbolts are going to take over.
12 seconds.
Thunderbolts going to call timeout with 12 seconds left in the first half.
We won't talk second half.
Thunderbolts, 12 seconds, looking to score again. They lead 28 to 7. Haskamp got some time. Got Henry Newsom in the corner. Touchdown! And that only took 6 seconds. So the Thunderbolts are going to look like a 35-7 lead into the locker room, but they will have to kick off. And what a play. Newsom was wide, and Haskamp again with a nice ball.
This is what we...
Jeff Wood to attempt the extra point to make it 35. And Velarde got that 2-point conversion to get him back on track. Nice kick, clears the track, caught by the ball boy, and it's 35-7. Oregon Thunderbolts lead over the Snohomish County Vikings. Where is Snohomish County?
Cut out the play.
And there's 6 seconds left, and the Thunderbolts are going to have to kick off. And he's going to kick a squibber. Nice bounce. And 48, the big stumpy fullback's going to bring it back, and he just wants to hit somebody. He doesn't even attempt to go to the end zone. He just wanted to plow into Henry Newsom. But I don't know if I'd want to hit Henry.
Yeah, they did what they were supposed to do. Don't kick it to the deep back for a long return. Kick it to an up man. You know that it's in your favor.
So the Thunderbolts take the big 35-7 lead into halftime. And we'll be waiting through halftime, and you'll be right back. And I'm back just in time for the opening kickoff, and it looks like the Snohomish County Vikings returning the favor, kicking off out of bounds. And the Thunderbolts will get to choose whether or not they take it on the 35. Late arrival for the Snohomish County Vikings. Oh, another whistle. Looks like they didn't get the playoff before the whistle or something. Blowing this one dead. I'll talk about it later.
Well, it doesn't even look like the lights are taking effect.
That's a better kick, but he's taking it. Is that Van Velarde, number 5, takes it on the 25-yard line, and he's looking for a bunch of guys to hit.
Yeah, he wasn't going to go away easy, and the guy was grabbing onto his helmet. It really wasn't holding onto his face mask, and finally kind of pulled him down.
So I guess the part of the reason that kick didn't go very deep, it was a nice kick, was because the Vikings, yeah, it was. Is this on? Good. Anyway, because they kicked off 5 yards after the penalty for kicking off out of bounds. Anyway, a late arrival for the Blue Guys, number 16, who's apparently their starting quarterback. How do you say that? Tom Nakane or Nakani? Was warming up at halftime, and everybody looked happy to see him, so we might see a change of quarterback in the second half. Meanwhile, Thunderbolts got the ball. Haskamp throwing in the screen in the middle, and there's Kenyatta Morgan, and he's going to outrun these slow guys in the middle. Number 92 chases him all the way down the field, Marty Northcroft, but he's not going to catch number 3, and number 3 steps out of bounds after a gain of about 30, 35, whatever the guy said.
And we kind of do a kind of a unorthodox screen. It's not really a kind of roll out into the flat kind of screen. It's kind of like let everybody go through, and we'll kind of do it in the middle type screen.
Glenn Vereen and the offensive line provides about 5 yards worth of push on that play, and it's going to be second down and 6.
Right now, the offense has good timing on everything, and they're moving it right on down the field.
Rufus Dean, number 23, in the backfield now. Rich Martin sets up on the far side, on the trip side. Henry Newsom here on the near side. Haskamp looking to throw. Rufus Dean looking to block. Haskamp has Brad Jolson, the possession guy, over the middle at the 20-yard line. And he hangs on even though he's tackled hard by number 53, Spider Cooper, who goes 6'1", 210.
And there was great coverage on that play. He had 2 men on the inside, and Brad just went up and pulled that one out of the air. Great reception.
Haskamp had patience sitting in the pocket there. Had number 23, Rufus Dean, to help provide a little bit of extra time. And overall, the Thunderbolt offensive line has given Haskamp a heck of a lot more time than what the offensive line of the Vikings has been able to provide.
Right now, everything is being done because there's just tons of patience with the linemen with the receivers, with the quarterback. They're all kind of working and helping each other on down the field, and they're making this a really nice drive.
Rufus Dean with a huge gaping hole across the middle. They let him come through, and then no one was there, and Dean fills up the vacuum down to about the 1 yard line. It's a big first down, and it's going to be 1st and goal.
Well, apparently Snohomish forgot to keep the middle occupied, and we saw again they went strong on the outside, and Thunderbolts recognized that, went right up the middle with a run play. Nice long run, and they just were able to knock him down at the 1.
Well, I'm sure Rufus wouldn't mind carrying the ball over the goal line. I don't know if he's scored yet this year, but he's been inactive for several games, and he does penetrate. Flags are going to go down, and I see procedure against the Thunderbolts.
Keep talking. Make it longer.
Thunderbolts accused of illegal procedure.
Quit your day job.
Set up 1st and goal from the 6 now. Jolson in motion. Haskamp pumps, and Haskamp gets sacked, and they blow it dead before he hits the ground. Number 79, Mark Crescelius, 60300 from St. Mary's College there with the defensive stop. And the Thunderbolts lose about 10 more.
And he took a back short. When he went back, he really didn't take his 5-step back steps, and it looked like he was going to do a quick. Then he realized he couldn't throw it. He was going to take another step. They wrapped on him, and that's where they called the ball dead.
Well, I was wondering about that because it looked like they gave him enough yardage on the loss that maybe they let him backpedal for 10 yards. But apparently not, and it was nice they didn't throw our quarterback down and dismember him, and Haskamp has another chance out here. Is it 2nd down? Yeah, 2nd down again.
Oh, there should be a penalty right there.
And just as I said, there should be a penalty. They throw the flag. That was good. There was a late hit out of bounds, and it should have been that way. And it looks like we might get a 1st down out of this.
Well, it was 2nd down and long after the loss, but also the penalty, which was blown dead. I didn't see the run play there, but I did see Vereen get hit late out of bounds, and that might bring up a 1st down after a personal foul penalty.
Yeah, we had 1st and goal at the 1, but I still think it's a 1st down because it is a personal penalty. We'll see if they mark it that way.
Well, the says dead ball foul. 3rd down is set up. Maybe because it was after the play, they didn't give us. I don't know. Yeah, that should seem like an automatic 1st down. Haskamp gonna throw it in anyway. Henry Newsom's there, but so is number 7, Muhammad Abdullah. And if I'm not mistaken, Abdullah used to play for the Thunderbolts 2 years ago in a crowded defensive backfield, and he didn't get much playing time. I think he went to the Vancouver Posse, and maybe he lives up around here somewhere, wherever Snohomish County is.
But that's not unusual. We have players that are on our team that drive all the way from Eugene to play for the Thunderbolts, so that's not really kind of unorthodox to do that.
Well, I know Jeff Wood drives from Salem. Haskamp got Vereen in the flat, throws over to number 3, Kenyatta Morgan, who does a tiptoe into the end zone. And what can you say? That was just very athletic and graceful. I think, put some orchestra to that and call it a ballet.
Well, I kind of thought it was unusual. I realized that Thunderbolts can do almost anything offensively, but I thought they like to work on their field goal once in a while, but they didn't on this one.
Well, close enough. They're going to work on the extra point, which is basically a field goal, only closer. Jeff Wood into attempt. Miller with the snap. Velarde with the hold. Or the trick play. We'll see what number 5 comes up with. And Wood bangs it through. And it's going to be 42 for the Thunderbolts. 7 for the Snohomish County Vikings, who returned a fumble. They took the ball away from Mike Hauskamp and ran it in for their only score. And the defense still has yet to give up any points. Bolts decide to wait for the whistle this time and go ahead and kick off. Wood gets all of this one, and it drops on about the 2, and it's going to roll out of the end zone. And that'll be his second touchback tonight. Thunderbolt defense set to earn some more yards against the offense of the Vikings. Number 88, Enyart, moves inside the transferred tight end, along with Leland Johnson, with 92, Neal on the outside, over on the far side. And number 50, Neil Clayson to the near side, and Clayson penetrates right away, but the play goes around him, inside, but there was Brett Wells and some of the secondary guys, and I think they got about 3.
Yeah. I mean, we can't keep up with the numbers because they all collapse at the same time, and we're trying to pick out the first guy in.
I think I saw the guy in the white hat signal something on that, but yeah, it's going to be some sort of penalty. Well, unfortunately, the Thunderbolts assessed 5 yards there for offsides, and that was a nice gift because they haven't been giving up very many yards to this offense.
And we're continuing to press hard on their offense. And I don't know if there's a loose ball the way everybody's reacting. Is there something on the grass?
No, the guy tried to go up the middle. Well, the fumble was recovered again by the Vikings. Oh, okay.
You know, I was mentioning at halftime I thought that this team was fairly good on offense, but I catch myself. I don't know that they've really moved the ball very much against us. I mean, against our defense, which is a great defense, it's going to be tough. But how does this offense compare to some of the other better teams in our league?
Well, right now, today they've had a few good plays. I'd say probably maybe 4 or 5 that have amounted to any kind of yards. Their line is not really giving anybody opportunity to do anything back there, whether it's a running back or a swing out or a quarterback, or I mean, even in shotgun, the quarterback's not even getting time, and he's 8 yards off the ball.
Number 14, Tony Holliday, remains the starting quarterback. We were told that the starter's number 16, and he did show up at halftime. But Holliday's run out of bounds. That looked like Tyrone Sellers, number 32. And Holliday, I think, picks up some yards, but not enough for the first down.
And he's running for his dear life. He went back and he saw, he saw, the only thing he saw was a little daylight for himself. He didn't have the patience to see if there was any more receivers opening up downfield. He took off for the hills, and when he saw Tyrone Sellers coming at him, he just said, "I'll take a bow and go out of bounds."
So Holliday picks up about 4, and it's going to be 3rd down and 3. Thunderbolts make a defensive substitution now. Number 88, Enyart, moves back out to defensive end for Neil Clayson, and Eric Johnson checks in at tackle in the middle there. Tyrone Sellers, the middle linebacker. Brett Wells, the linebacker to the near side, and so number 39, Anthony Davis, the linebacker to the far side. Swing pass. Flag goes down. Number 21, Justin Smith, appeared to get the first down.
It was kind of a weird developed play. We faked an inside blitz, backed out of it, and the running back cleared out, saw some area. They threw it out to him, and he kind of did a lot of it more on his own. The yards that are being gained is actually by the receivers and running backs.
Well, I didn't see the yardage marked off. It looked like maybe a 5-yard face mask they tacked on. And number 16, Tom Nakane, I guess is his name, or Nakani, checks in at quarterback. Hands off to number 1, who is Andre Edwards, and the Vikings push back the Thunderbolts for about 4.
Right now, it's all the running backs are doing it on their own. It's not really a whole lot of block pattern. They're just finding a hole, kind of going through it and getting hit, and they just keep turning their wheels and try to get as much yardage as they can. unfortunately, you're not going to really succeed a whole lot. Your running backs will run out of gas in the next 2 or 3 plays because you just can't keep up that intensity.
Number 21, Justin Smith, playing fullback now. And the pitch goes out to Andre Edwards, number 1. But Matt Neal's there on the contain. And those offensive positive yards continuing to decline for the Vikings.
Well, and there's where we're talking about churning those yards out. You think you have fresh legs, but if you keep pulling 3 or 4 guys with you, they just don't have the spring left in them. Tries to get out there, he's just a step slower, and a step slower means you're going to get caught.
Well, and the undermanned Thunderbolts tonight seem to have about 1 rotation guy on their defensive line, and yet they seem to be the fresher team.
Well, and they're a very exciting and fast team to play for, and that's why they're well conditioned. They jump off the line. They just don't quit on anything, and they won't. They'll probably be totally exhausted by the end of the game.
DeAndre Wade, number 25, in there at corner, had the coverage on Rico Brown, number 2, the go-to guy for the Vikings. But the pass was overthrown a little bit and it looked out of bounds. Maybe Nick Kane doesn't have his touch yet.
Yeah, in 2 series.
Snohomish County Vikings apparently lined up for a punt, but the Thunderbolts have seen the fake already once tonight on 4th and 8, and it's going to be kicked. High kick goes above the screen.
Off his helmet.
49 hit his helmet.
Right on top of his helmet.
It dunked him, and why is that a penalty?
You cannot touch the ball until it hits the ground or an offensive man. You're not allowing the offensive man to receive the ball.
They threw 2 flags on that, so I guess both officials caught it. Well, I think we ought to save that piece of tape for one of the film folly deals. Scott, you might be able to make a couple bucks. You could probably pawn that one off.
But I don't know how close I got to that play.
Oh.
I mean, I saw the play, it was on the Bolt player, but hopefully I picked up that ball bouncing off the head.
Well, hey, let's shut her off until this penalty's over so we can sing, yeah. I would think that with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left in the 3rd quarter with a score 42-7, they could consider starting to run the clock here a little bit. Maybe they want to go ahead and get this 3rd quarter over with. Haskamp pitches wide to Vereen. He's got some blocks. And Vereen has a nice, juicy face mask that everybody can grab onto, and it looks like they all decided to do it.
Well, if you can't grab them by the arms, the legs, and the pants, the shirt, the next best thing is a face mask. Unfortunately, you get a penalty for that.
It is unfortunate because what a tool. You could just grab that face mask and you can get such a good handle on it, and the guy not. Well, the holding penalty on the Thunderbolts is negated by the face mask penalty. I thought they had 2 face mask penalties. There's 1 guy on each side.
Yeah, they had 2 face mask penalties, but it still counted as 1.
Richie Martin goes in motion. Haskamp hands off to Vereen. He's got some blocks. He's tried to get wide, and he looked like another face mask, but didn't quite make the first down marker because it wasn't there, and he couldn't see it to dive past it.
Yeah, he couldn't see the orange mark.
Vereen does get the first down, and the whole time that he went out of bounds, and the whole time during that huddle, the clock was running, so maybe they've elected to start moving the clock.
Well, they're going to have to do something, or this will be an awful long game.
Well, same thing for the Thunderbolts here. It's going to be a long game for Haskamp if that keeps happening.
Well, someone just stepped on his foot. It was plain and simple. He's trying to go out of the pocket, couldn't move because his foot was nailed to the surface.
Could it be Satan?
I think it was a goal.
Loss of 5. Haskamp on the man. He has some bad rushing stats this year. He's all negative yardage. That's not very good. Fortunately, all the Thunderbolt rushers The worst one is Casey Gallagher with averaging over 5 yards a carry. So the Thunderbolt running game is clicking pretty good this year. The offensive snaps, however, have little to be desired. Haskamp going to get a chance to pad his rushing stats this time. Got some blockers. And there goes 2 flags. But Haskamp got back past the line of scrimmage on that, and he's probably tired as hell. Can I say that?
Yeah. It'll be flip. There's a late flip.
Well, I don't know about this spot. I mean, there is a half the distance to the goal rule in normal semi-pro football rules. But looks like, what down is it? Second down and about 35. Haskamp, they took the penalty from where he was with the, where the penalty, where the holding was, and then added 10 yards or more. Newsom with the catch over Kenyatta Morgan, and someone got a hold of his shoelace, or one of the Gophers popped his head up and tripped him on the field.
I think Kenyatta actually tripped him up because they were right beside each other, and they both kind of looked up for the ball, and one actually pulled it down. I thought it would probably be incomplete because they kind of run into each other.
Well, Newsom had the ball and had some head of steam. It looked like they were going to get more. They only really netted about 20 yards on that. It looked like a bigger play than that, but it's now third down and 17, and maybe they can reach. Was it the 5? Yeah, okay. Well, it's third down and 17, which is makeable. Haskamp firing for Jolson. Ball's tipped by number 39, but Jefferson almost came up with it before it hit the ground. That was number 39, Mickey Velasco. I've called his name a few times, and he made a nice play on the defense.
Yeah, that actually it was looking pretty close to a nice completion. Defensive man got his hand up late and just deflected it away.
Thunderbolts scramble 11 guys out onto the punt team, and so far haven't got a penalty, although last time it worked out for him real well. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually kicked it this time, though.
Nice.
And what a boom.
Boomer.
Number 2 inside his own 20. Oh! Big shot. Calvin Armstead got it clocked.
35 guy on third and bolts. And there was a hit there. I mean, we could hear it all the way up here.
Dante Lewis, number 10, though, with great pursuit on Rico Brown. Was that Rico Brown, number 2, with the ball?
That's correct.
And Dante didn't let him get anything. Well, that punt was easily 50 yards by Wood, and a nice tackle by Dante Lewis. Calvin Armstead paid the price. I don't think he was really in the play, but he turned around and saw lots of blue in his face.
Oh, I can't really say what kind of blue he saw, but it was kind of the guy came from the side. He really just didn't see him until the last second, but it was too late by then.
Well, that ends the third quarter. It looks like the clock's running fast now with the 42-7 lead for the Thunderbolts, and we will be back in 2 shakes.
That's about it.
Well, Snohomish Vikings get the ball after the punt, the very eventful punt, and they have it 1st and 10 on their own 25, and have switched ends of the field for the fourth quarter. By the way, that was 2 shakes.
Yeah, that was close enough to 2 shakes. Nice throw.
Intended receiver number 85, Jimmy McCollum, and that ball just barely off his fingertips.
Just a little off timing. It was about a ball length too far.
Tom Nakani, the quarterback now, number 16, is apparently a University of Washington Husky, and I was looking at this roster, and these Vikings have a lot of Pac-10 experience on this football team.
Yeah, and our comment was why they said they were doing the starting alignment for the offensive line, and most of those guys were out of high school. We were trying to figure out what was going on.
A lot of these big Pac-10 players aren't in the game. Maybe they're just on the roster. They're not here. Number 9, Neil O'Neill, was open there for a minute, but the ball went way over his head and it wasn't thrown well.
No, and he came in late in this game. He's only had 2 series under his belt, so the timing's not going to be there.
Well,
There's a penalty on that.
was it? I don't remember what happened. I'm just looking at. They got a first down. It must have been a defensive penalty on the Thunderbolts.
I think it was defensive holding.
First down, and after that incomplete pass, they get the first down, and there goes Nakani, going to get 8 yards. Clayson hit him kind of late, but I didn't look like he pulled up.
Yeah, I don't think it was that late, but as long as you're in bounds and they hit you, it's legal.
Picks up about 8 on foot. And Nakani there showing some speed.
Oh, well, it was an excellent play. We really had a bite from the linebackers. They thought it was going up the middle. Next thing you know, the quarterback had the ball and was rolling outside.
Well, it sounds like the viewers at home didn't get to see the play. But fortunately we did, and
That's why we get to talk about it.
second down and 2. Nakani in the shotgun with number 1. I have to find his name because he's in the wrong place. Andre Edwards. Hands off to Edwards. There's Matt Neal. Got a hand on him. Can't wrap him up, but he might buy a little time.
No, thank you.
And Calvin Armstead, good to see him back there in the lineup. It looks like maybe they gave him a couple Tylenols on the sidelines, and he's back in there playing.
Usually those guys, they'll say, tell me how many fingers I have. And if they say the right number, they say, okay, you're okay. He may not be, but, he said the right answer.
But do they tell them basically always say 2 or something? That way they always have a little code, so that way they know they can get them back on the field?
No, not necessarily. They don't want to send someone out there that's totally not knowing where they're going, because they'll end up on the wrong side of the sidelines.
Well, that's a good point. You don't want to give up any points on defense to this. Oh, there I said it again. To this offense. And half of the defensive line comes across, and I don't know. Either they're not watching the ball or one of the offensive guys moved. That looks like another penalty against the defense. 3rd and 1 now. And I see that clock rolling again even after the penalty. So it looks like they are going to go ahead and put this one down. Number 1, Dante Lewis climbs up his back and runs him out of bounds. He did a lot of running, but a lot of running towards the sidelines on that play.
And there was some trash talk going on down there too. He gets pulled out of bounds, and he says, well, you didn't pull me down. And so who cares? You're out of bounds. You can't go anywhere.
Andre Edwards, number 1, was
That's the horn for the end of the game.
running back for the last play. And Justin Smith, the split back. Tahani lines up under center, fires deep for Jimmy McCollum, and he's not deep.
Quarterback was looking long, quarterback was looking short. The receiver is looking short, and someone's got to get on the right page. Apparently they heard 2 different plays. One said one play and the other thought another play.
The referee giving the press box a signal to run the clock. So it looks like they're not going to stop the clock for anything except timeouts and the end of the game, maybe the 2-minute warning. Matt Neal with some pressure, screen pass, but Neil Clayson heads up, and he stops Justin Smith for a big loss.
We had 4 linemen standing there where the ball was thrown, and Neil just kind of rotated over and saw the man catch the ball. He just grabbed him by the shirt and pulled him down, and it was an 8-yard loss.
Outstanding play by Clayson again, the leading tackler for the Thunderbolt D. And I just wonder how many yards, I got to ask Pat about this, Pat Copeland about this. How many yards have they lost tonight to our defense?
Yeah, the negative yards are looking more and more like it's going to be their top effort tonight instead of positive yards. They're going to get a lot of yards, but it'll have a minus in front of it.
Number 16, Tom Nakani, the quarterback now, who's apparently the normal starter, but I guess he couldn't get to the game until halftime. Having some miscues, throwing the ball too hard, but that was a nice effort. Neil O'Neill was there, but so was the coverage. Ali Rowley and Brett Wells both came over, and I don't know why no one got a hand on that ball.
Well, I thought that was going to be completed. It was right there, and I don't know how the receiver didn't even get his hands on it.
Okay, I can take care of a little business. Thunderbolts at home next week. This is Tuesday night at 8, I hope, and well, it's probably 9:30 by now. And Saturday night, 6 o'clock, against the feared and rivaled Vancouver Posse. What are they called? Vancouver Cavalier Posse. Neil O'Neill, one hand, drops the pass. Cowlitz County, what are they this week? And where is Cowlitz County? Where's Vancouver? Is that up north of here?
Vancouver is just over the river from Portland.
Oh, okay. Those guys, a lot of former Thunderbolt players and a lot of bad blood between those two teams. Should be a nice gory game. Big crowd for the last home game at Park Rose, and want to invite everybody to come out.
850 people.
Well, that's what the paper said. 850 people.
They didn't count the real people, though.
And
The cardboard ones.
anyway, and of course, but you still have to stay and watch the Channel 11 broadcast on next Tuesday because that's where all the important stuff will be done and said. So anyway, Park Rose High School, 6 o'clock. Mike Cascamp got pressure, and he's going to eat it. Number 46, Todd Petrozelka.
Say that 10 times real fast.
Petrozelka. you know, you got this roster here, and I just looked down to read the name, and, you know, I can read pretty quick, but when you got a name like that, it just comes out. Fortunately, number 55, Mitch Via Mooley hasn't handled the ball yet tonight or made a big tackle.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Mike Haskamp checks out in the game, which is no longer in doubt. Thunderbolts 42-7. Mike Monahan, number 18, who is a former decathlete that Mike Haskamp was explaining to us earlier. Hands off. Clock still running. Mark Massajuski, another one of these guys. I guess they're all from Sweden or wherever Vikings come from.
Yeah, this is true. They could be Scandinavian. You just get a whole mix of different names because football players come from all over the place. I mean, it seems like the weirder the name, the bigger the body.
Well, yeah, there's a guy on the Steelers that I was just looking at. The rookie was a 250-pound Bettis clone, only he's like 5'10", and his name is unpronounceably hyphenated. He has like a Samoan name attached to like a Vietnamese name or something. And boy, I'd hate to have to be buying the letters to put on the back of his jersey.
Yeah, they hyphenate those names.
2-yard gain on that play. It'll be 4th down, about 28.
Thunderbolts unable to move the ball here. We're kind of on commercial here, talking about next week's game. After next week, if I'm not mistaken, we will be going to the playoffs. And this team we're seeing now, Snohomish Vikings, the team we see next week, the Vancouver Posse, and of course, the wherever the heck they're from, Bengals, will be probably the 4 playoff teams. And we will be playing probably the 4th best of those, 3rd best of those.
Right now, in the running to play us in the first round, it's going to either be Snohomish or the Posse. but if we continue to go on the pace that we're going, it'll probably be the posse.
In that case, the Snohomish Vikings would play the Southern Seattle Bengals, and then the winner of that game would be coming to Portland, because Portland has the home field advantage for the playoffs. Interference. It's illegal to have 3 guys in coverage on one offensive guy.
No one touched him. You have the defensive man has every right to the ball. No one bumped anybody off. They all just kind of came in the same zone at the same time. And when the ball was there, the defensive guy went, kind of went up to the ball too. There's nothing wrong with that, but the refs see it a whole different way.
Well, it's possible, entirely possible, especially after we watched the first Vancouver game, that maybe these guys get paid by the yard on the penalties.
By the flag. They get so much by every flag that's thrown. They would have been millionaires after the posse game.
The refs are up there playing football.
It's going to be first down for the Snohomish Vikings. They have 2 minutes and 39 seconds, and they want to add to their lead, or not their lead, but their score of 7 to, I guess, make it look a little better than it was. A thorough bruising and beating. Swing pass to number 1, Andre Edwards, and number 59, Jermaine Tavies with the stop.
And that was kind of a real weird play. It's almost like a screen. Really wasn't a swing at it. He just kind of went out there, and it's normally like a set screen, but there was no lineman out there for blocking.
That can make for a short screen pass. And referee calls timeout on the field. 2 minutes to go up here at Edmonds School District Stadium in Edmonds, Washington, which is in what county? I don't know. I guarantee you, folks, if you want to come watch the Thunderbolts, it's best to just go ahead and go to Park Rose than try and find out where they are up here in Washington. You got Pierce County, and you got East Side, Renton, Bellevue. Clayson with the sag. He gets it away. Holiday fires a nice desperation pass. Justin Smith almost caught it.
Well, you always want to know what a referee's interpretation of in the grasp is. Does that mean that you're in the grasp and you got one arm held, or is it in the grasp and you got one leg held? But he was anchored down, and they let the play continue.
Well, I'm satisfied with that. I thought it was nice they called it earlier when Haskamp was in big trouble. They blew the whistle before he got became an endangered species. Clock still running even with the incomplete pass because of the, lopsided score. 42-7, and the Vikings have 1:11 left, and they're going to go deep. Holiday puts it up top. Brett Wells is going to catch this.
Oh, man.
He didn't catch it, and it's a miracle that Rico Brown didn't catch it down there in the end zone.
Here I'm watching the ball come down, and I say, Brett's got it all the way. And it just kind of bounced off his shoulder pads, and the receiver was close. That was almost a touchdown.
Go for it after that.
If you guys punted that up and we got it.
48 seconds left, and it looks like Hail Mary 3 on 4th down and 12. Well, he could get 12 yards and get a first. There's the tight end. Going deep for just knock it down. Just knock it down. Don't even Thunderbolt ball, and they've practiced this play before, I'd imagine.
Yeah, this is called take the ball, run the timeout.
Let's see. The last time I saw number 18 doing this, he was throwing for the end zone. And he's throwing for, who was that? Casey Gallagher, number 46. He's down. Oh, man. That's not good. 36 seconds left, and they're going to stop the clock for the injury. Gallagher gets up and trots off, but I'm kind of curious why they have to, why they threw the ball out wide. I mean, either you want to kneel down with 30 seconds left, or you want to throw deep and run and add some scores to that to that statistic, but I don't see this getting people hurt.
Yeah, you don't want to really throw the ball. Oh, look at this. It's receiver didn't even know the ball was in the air, and this might go back.
Abdullah, number 7, the one-time Thunderbolt, tackled by the quarterback, Mike Monahan, and it looked like Monahan gave him a shot. And then looks like someone gave Monahan a shot after that. So flag is down, and the clock is not over. There's 11 seconds left of this, 11 seconds of excitement left, and we'll see what the Thunderbolts going deep with the 42-7 lead.
And this is what you don't want to do at the end of the game. You know, you want to get people into the game, but we're going to the playoffs, so we don't want injury.
Thunderbolts now on defense after the long interception by Abdullah. 10 seconds to go, and they're going to probably throw it deep and try and get some more points out of this. Brett Wells is about 20 yards deep for the defense. Flags go up and down. And it's number 14, Holiday, back in there. Van Velarde knocked the ball down, and someone else knocked him down. Looked like number 10, Dante Lewis, knocked down Velarde. And flags are down again, and there's still 4 seconds left.
They're bound and determined to make this last a long time, to make the last 10 seconds last an hour.
Well, we know at least we'll get to watch the end of the game this week, and Van Velarde's had a heck of a game back there. He had the key pass on the fake punt, and then he had the 2-point conversion. His special teams have been outstanding, and he's been playing safety all night too.
Oh yeah, and his hands in the whole part of the product that the Thunderbolts make. He holds it down. He's done interceptions. He's done the fakes. I mean, he's done the passing. He kind of completed the whole role tonight.
Time expires after the what was it? Another penalty, probably an offensive penalty, and mercifully this game's over, and I think Casey might be all right, and it looks like we might have got out of here with a win, a convincing win against a, well, sort of competitive football team, better than the last several teams we've seen, except for the Bengals, and basically injury-free.
That's really the basic formula that we wanted. We wanted a good win, no injuries. We know that the Posse game, which we're going to have next week, is going to be a real tough game as far as it's a rivalry. A lot of people know each other, and so there's going to be a lot of energy involved in that game. What comes out of it, I don't know, but the main part is we wanted to see us come out as an undefeated team, go into the playoffs. We know in our hearts that we can beat anybody in the league. We've already done it. We've gone through this whole league, and we're going through it twice. So if you're looking for someone to pick on, we're not really finding it in this league. The only thing that's going to hurt us is ourselves.
And so the Thunderbolts are at home at Parkrose at 6 o'clock next Saturday. A week from what is now today, against the Vancouver Posse, September 5th, 6 o'clock. Parkrose High School is basically where 122nd and Prescott meet, just north of the 84. Take the 84 122nd exit and go north, and you'll run right into it.
Great time to come, Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend, football, and hey, it's football season now. It's time for the thing, but of course, we've been enjoying football for a couple months now.
And it's been a real nice summer. It's kind of nice that you don't have to sit out in 30-degree weather to watch football. I really enjoyed it.
Well, and it's also, well, it's been kind of warm, but since we play in the evening and stuff, yeah, it's a nice time of the year to play ball, and it's a long off season when there's no football. So anyway, we will see you next week, or you will see us, one of the two.
Yeah, one of the two, and we've really The one thing we wanted to, I'm excited about is that I could be a part of the product that the Thunderbolts bring. They're a real exciting program. They're not one team, or there's not like 15 teams in the United States. There's almost 300 teams in the United States that play semi-pro football. This is a very high class type of football. This is close to pro as you get. It's in between college and pro. And we want, people to come out and see the product. I mean, we have a winning program. We're just as good as any other program in the Portland area, and I just don't understand why more people don't want to come out and support us. We're ranked 4th in the country, and we have a real shot at the national championship this year.
And Portland has come up short in national championship bids. Portland State lost the 2 national championship games, and of course the Blazers lost, and it's about time for the city of Portland to cap a win on a big game like that. Anyway, I guess the rant is over. The rant is over, and we will see you next week.
Have fun, everybody.